Sounds good.
This is Gene Amore with More Than Sports. And I just lost him already. Well, I'm going to stop and restart this. There he is. All right, let's
There you
try this again. Oh, little, technology is great.
Yeah,
So
it's awesome.
I am Gina Moore with More Than Sports. I am here with class of 2022, three-star tight end from two-time state champion Thurston Colts, Jacob Newell. So, Jake, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, we're just going to get right into the questions. The first one, I heard from somebody last night that you played basketball and that you're actually pretty good at it. So, is football your passion, or do you like basketball just as much?
So growing up, basketball was my passion. It was like I wanted to go to the NBA and all this stuff, and be like one of those tall 7-footers that just could dunk and all that. But no, football right now is in general is my passion, and I just love playing the game.
And now you go to Thurston, like I said in the beginning. You guys won the state championship 2 years in a row, and you were a part of those two teams. So tell me a little bit about that and what that meant for you.
Yeah, it was. So growing up with Thurston, I was a ball boy because my dad was coaching and I was a ball boy, and I was always hanging around, and we weren't very good. But when I freshman year, and then I was on that team, and they were actually winning and doing very well, and we went to the playoffs, and it was just a crazy ride. And to succeed and win it all, and see all my coaches that I've seen over the years, and growing up with all these guys winning it, and then winning it back to back, it was just crazy. It was an awesome experience and so amazing.
So let's talk about that. Your dad, like you said, has helped coach for many years.
Yeah.
What is that like having your dad? What position does he coach?
So he coaches. Last year he coached running backs. This year he coaches wide receivers.
Okay, so he doesn't necessarily coach you as a tight end, but what
No.
is it like kind of having him there on the sidelines and in practices? What's that like for you?
So a lot of people have the perception of like coach's kid. He has a lot of advantages. I guess it's nothing like that. He just coaches me like a many other player, and we come home and we'll talk about everything that happened, what I did right, what I did wrong, what the team did right. It's just kind of like having a dad as a coach, and then when he's back home, it's just it's me and dad talking about football.
Mm-hmm. Well, which is probably good. I mean, it's nice to kind of have that inside track, for him to really sit down and talk to you about things that you can improve on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that, I think that's great. So what role, kind of going into hopefully this season, what role do you want to have on the team?
I want to be the leader. I want to be the guy that people come to when they're in a little situation or if they need advice. I want to be that, older guy that I grew up with on the team and just help everyone out and just be a leader and lead the team into, hopefully, if we have a season, a third state championship.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me about that. Like how have you been during this whole COVID thing, with kind of the uncertainty of whether you're actually going to have a season or not?
It's scary because, I want to play my junior season. I want a chance to actually, prove myself. I feel like we haven't had that chance yet, and it's been difficult. But we just keep working hard. We're in the weight room. We're getting faster and stronger for the season when we have one. So we're just preparing, and if it takes a while, it takes a while. But hopefully we have it.
Yeah, the uncertainty, it definitely is not fun right now. Not knowing. So what you have been talked to and recruited by quite a few colleges. You have one offer from New Mexico.
Yes.
But what are you looking for in a college program? What would be the perfect college program in your mind?
a college program where it's not just players and coaches, it's a family. It's a united group of people that truly care about each other and want each other to succeed and that push each other. I don't want to go to some college that, is just kind of casual. I want to push myself, and I want coaches to connect with me on a deeper level and just, a family unit as a team.
That's great. And how has this whole pandemic affected your recruiting?
It's been hard in the fact that as a tight end, they also want to see, blocking, and they want to see, all your route running. And I haven't had my junior year yet. So it's been a little difficult because they want to see that, but obviously I'm so thankful in the spot I am in right now. And once I can prove it, then it will be even better. And I'm very thankful.
That's great. And so you play for MVP 7-on-7. How do you think that's helped you in your game?
Oh, it's helped me tremendously. Learning, all the route concepts and how to use my footwork, not just in pads, because you can hit. Like, I love hitting, and people and like using, physical, but the like footwork and all that key stuff for 7-on, and the fact that we don't have a football season yet and I'm playing that in tournaments, they've helped so much. I can't thank them enough.
Well, and it's great that there's programs like that out there, especially right now. I know, obviously I've helped with MVP and worked with them, and they do an amazing job. So, it's nice to be able to still be in shape, still be in conditioning and doing that kind of thing, since there is no season right now. So, you guys, even though you don't have a season with your team, you do have a season with 7-on-7. Not the same, but it's definitely still helps keep your skills up. What do you think has been one biggest advantage to working with MVP?
I think it has been speed training and route running because, I want to get bigger, obviously, in the weight room, but also they're helping with, maintaining speed and breaking in and out of routes and, how to plant your feet correctly. All of that, they just break it down, and that's really helped me.
Well, and they do training outside of just 7-on-7 training. Do you go to those weightlifting sessions and things like that with LT, or, because I think that's important too, to kind of, lift and like you said, really kind of keep that up. So have you been doing that? And if what's that been like?
Every day except for Sundays, we're in the gym working hard. We go arm day, leg day, ab day, and then restart it all again. And it's been great, developing every muscle, what I'm saying? And every speed training, we've been at it and we're working hard, and tight end work. It's been great.
Well, and LT has a new gym out there as well. So what's that facility been like, and how has that really helped all of you guys?
Yeah, it's been it's very nice. We're glad that he got it when he told us the news that he has his own gym, and we get all work out together in it. And it's been nice working out with the team, perhaps, because we're all from different schools, and we all kind of get to break each other down and, talk to each other and bond a little bit and work out together. It's a good time.
So let's kind of talk about that a little bit, about the whole bonding thing. So a few months ago, we lost one of the quarterbacks that was a part of MVP, Ian Spalding. And talk to me a little bit about how that really affected you. That was a hard thing to go through with all of us, but how did that affect you personally?
Meeting Ian, he was that kid that he walked in a room and he just lit his smile. He was like super shy at first, but once you got to know him, he was so goofy and everyone knew it. And he was one of the hardest workers I've ever met in my life. And he didn't even go to the same school with me and not even really the same area. And just how he affected me was he just makes me want to work harder. I just think about, what he had, what, we still has, how he affected people. And Spalding Strong, man, that's all I think about is just working hard and just doing what he would want me to do and what he would be doing right now.
Which is great because there's always going to be positives that come out of a horrible situation. And that was kind of, that's a testament to the kind of person that Ian was. I think he did affect everybody that came in contact with him. So it just kind of helps everybody to be more like him, to have that positive attitude, that great work ethic, just always smiling, and that's what I remember the most about him is that smile and just a great kid. So July, 4th of July weekend, MVP went to Las Vegas, well, Mesquite for the Pylon tournament. And for the first time, MVP actually won that tournament. And that tournament was kind of dedicated to Ian. So what emotions did you have on that, that day that was hot and miserable, but you guys won? What was that like?
So it was hot that day. Oh my, we were all sweating our butts off and we were like, you know what? Ian wouldn't want to be. He would love to be here right now. He loved that stuff. And just being in that, like leading up to the championship game and just winning it all for him, that whole thing was just dedicated to Ian. Like you could just see it in our eyes and our hearts. We just knew that was our time. And when we won, man, the tear works were coming. I was crying. Everyone was crying. It was like, thank you, man. It was amazing, and it was an amazing experience, and it was just for him.
Whew, gets me all teary just thinking about it.
I know, right?
That was an amazing day. One that I know I won't ever forget, and I know that you guys won't either. Just you guys all coming together. There were some other players from schools that you guys haven't played with, and you wouldn't know that.
Exactly.
You guys come together as a team and as a family, and I think that's one thing I love the most about 7-on-7 is that you guys are, like you said, you're from all different schools. Ian lived, an hour and a half, 2 hours from where we're at, and so just to be able to meet kids like that and build that relationship with them is amazing, and so, I hope for you guys that's not, and I think Ian really taught that too, that's not something to take for granted, to value those relationships.
Definitely. It's just incredible what like bringing people together can do,
Well, and especially in that situation, you guys all knew Ian. So you have other people that can be there with you that understand the same thing, and I think that's very important to have that support system. Because, it's not an easy situation
at all.
So, it's one of the hardest things to go through. So let's get off that subject. But Spalding Strong,
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Loved Ian. He was an amazing kid. So what are your goals in life?
That's a good question, Gina. That's a good question. Okay, so my goals in life, well, first to make everyone smile. I really pride on that, excuse me, on, making an impact on people and motivating them to do better in life, to get out of a rut, or to just make them happy, because I feel like if you're not happy, then it's just hard. Like everyone can sense, when someone's not happy, and I don't like that. So to make everyone smile and to motivate them to be better.
That's great. Well, and especially now, it's definitely a difficult time right now with the whole COVID thing and being quarantined, and there's so much going on in this world aside from that as well. So there needs to be people like you out there, because you don't ever know what someone else is going through. Someone might look happy on the outside, but inside they're not. And so really just, be nice to everybody, and I think that's the kind of kid that you are, definitely.
Thank
I
you.
got to spend a little bit of time with you in the restaurant.
Yeah.
in Vegas.
It was a good time. Hey, it was a good time.
You definitely had me laughing. So, that's amazing. Definitely keep that and don't change, because, it's just going to get harder from here for people. And the pressure is going to be more intense. So definitely keep that mentality and that mindset.
Yes, ma'am.
So who is your favorite athlete and why?
Ooh, okay. So I have two.
Okay.
One is Calvin Johnson, because
Okay.
he watching him, so growing up, my family's not the tallest, but I knew, for some reason, I knew in my brain that I'd be somewhat tall. So watching Calvin Johnson, and like just a freak athlete, tall, fast, complete player, great hands. I loved watching him, and I just wanted to be like him in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And second is Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
I
Okay.
love his attitude is very funny. He's the reason I became a Seahawk fan, because and he ran through people. He didn't care what you thought of him. He didn't care about any outer views besides his own, and he just would run you over. And I love that.
Nope, those are good. And Marshawn Lynch definitely has that confidence,
Yeah.
and I think that's very important, actually, to have. Not to be cocky, but to be confident and let what you do on the field really kind of speak.
Yeah.
But then you don't really need to say much. So, what impact do you want to make on the game of football?
Well, I want to show people from smaller towns, or smaller areas, that you don't have to be this big time recruit. You don't have to be this big time, name out there. That you can just do the little things, work hard, grind, be that little kid from Thurston that grew up and said no, that he wouldn't make it, that he did make it. That's my goal. I want to make sure that little kids that were ball boying like me have a
Mm-hmm.
chance and know what they can do in life. And I think that they can do it, and I think that I can do it, and that's what I want to prove.
Well, and that is what's hard, coming from especially this area, Eugene, Springfield, some of the surrounding areas. There's not a lot of attention, given to these areas. And so really to have that mindset, you can do it. It doesn't really matter where you're from. It matters what talent you have.
Yeah.
And the kind of person that you are, what kind of grades you're getting, all of those things kind of go hand in hand. And so you have to have that mindset,
Yeah.
that you can do it. And, it sounds like some of the colleges that are speaking to you, some of them are Pac-12, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
It doesn't, again, we need more in-state recruits, I feel like. And so, hopefully you're one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, anywhere you go is going to be great. So, that's the thing. So what impact do you want to have, or do you want to make in your life? Like, what do you want? You kind of already said about making people laugh and that kind of a thing, but what do you want to be known for?
That is, yeah. I want to be known for, one, being a good person. I don't want to be known for, being that guy that like was always kind of mean or something like that. I want to be known for like, okay, that guy's a genuine nice guy. But I also want to be known for being nice to like the little ones, to like kids, to like special needs kids, I love that stuff. My dad was a special needs teacher, and I would love to do that and study that in college, and study the brain of those, of those people. My uncle is special needs, and I love working with those guys, and I just think it would be really cool to be known for helping them out and to helping, people in general out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as a player, as an athlete, people look up to you, people that you may not even know, little kids that come to the games and see you out there playing, it's so important to me to be that role model, and I think that that's the attitude that you have, and that's amazing. special needs. Those are some of my favorite people because they're just so innocent. And so, a lot of them are just so loving, and really we could learn a whole lot from them.
Oh, especially, yeah. I really think that. I think that's actually really underestimated. Like, if you can learn from them. Like, we have a summer school program at Thurston that me and I help at. My dad teaches, and they just make your day every day. It's just something new with them, and you just love it. And I think people, especially nowadays, can learn a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I've had some experience, working with them as well, and yeah, they make your day. It's some kid that may not talk very much, but yet he'll say your name, or there's so many things that they can bring, and it's amazing to be around them. I love it. So that's great. That would be an amazing impact, and sounds like you're already doing that now. So that's pretty phenomenal. So who is your biggest mentor?
Oof. My mom. My mom is. Me and her, we butt heads sometimes, and like as all families do with their parents. But my mom has been caring for me and my two brothers and my dad, and she, with four boys in the house and they all play sports, it's just it's hard, I feel bad, and it's really humbling that I have a mom that cares so much about all of us, and I love it. And she is amazing. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. And yeah, she would be my role model.
So you have two brothers. Are they older or younger?
Younger than me.
Okay. So you're the oldest.
Yes, ma'am.
How old are your brothers?
So my middle brother he's going to be a freshman. So he's 12 or 13. And my youngest brother is 11. He's in 7th grade.
Okay. And do they play football as well?
Oh, yeah. Football, basketball, all of it. Yep.
Okay. So you guys are definitely a sports family. So yes, that's, pretty amazing for your mom.
Yeah, it's incredible. She's a trooper.
Yes, she is. 4 boys.
Yeah.
Shout out to her for sure. So if you could do anything, what would it be? If you had no limitations, nothing. What would that be?
Ooh, if I could do anything, well, first off, my goal is to be the greatest football player of all time. So I would love to do that. That would be amazing. And to have that discussion is like, okay, who would be your top number one? My name. I would love that. I'd also love to stop crime. I feel like I like being a cop. I love to, be a really famous cop that, people knew around the world as like the guy who stops crime. That's really cool. Like superhero type stuff. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Those are good. And they're both attainable. That's the thing. Maybe not to stop crime, but you can do what you can do where you're at,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So who is your favorite college team?
So I like every team that talks to me or, offers me, just so we know. I love but growing up, in Oregon and Eugene, I'm a Duck fan. I love Oregon, and me and my family have been watching the Ducks since I was a little boy. We used to dye my hair green and yellow, and we play football and go to the games. So, yeah, growing up and watching them, and with Chip Kelly and everything, yeah, that's who they'd be.
Well, and it's kind of hard. We do live in a college town. So, you kind of have to – well, you don't have to. Really, it's either Oregon or Oregon State. So, So, I'm definitely kind of there with you. I'm a Duck fan. I've lived in Eugene all my life. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't support the other programs as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many kids that I've interviewed that are going all over the place, and You know, I have two kids that are going to be going to Oregon State. So, you know, I keep telling them, well, Sam, you know, Sam,
Yeah.
the quarterback for MVP, you know, he's one of them. And so now I have to buy some Oregon State gear so I can show their support for them.
I love Oregon State too. Yeah. I just happened to grow up in Eugene, and my dad did too, and my mom. So,
yep,
you know.
Exactly. Come by it naturally.
Yep.
So, favorite NFL team? You kind of alluded to this.
Yeah.
So,
Seahawks.
Seahawks. All right.
5:20 Pacific time tonight. Yep.
So, who's your favorite player on the Seahawks? Obviously, Marshawn Lynch isn't playing for them this year. So, aside from him, who's your favorite player?
DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And why is that?
I love that he dropped in the draft, and I don't know how, but I'm thankful because he's on my Seahawks, so that's great. But I just love how he carries himself and how, you know, he's this freak athlete, but he doesn't boast about it. He's not very cocky. He does the little things, and he's learning from Russell Wilson, who's like the most humble guy in the world and will be the MVP this year. And yeah.
Putting in your vote, huh?
Yeah, I got it right there.
That's awesome. Well, and it's good to have people like that you can look up to, see how they are, and kind of model your game and your style and who you are kind of after them as well. You know, kind of seeing things that you like and don't like about certain people, or you know, just kind of knowing what kind of person that you want to be when you're in that position playing for the Seahawks.
Yeah, amen. Yes.
Well, Jake, that's all the questions I have. Actually, I have one more. What advice would you give to other kids that might be watching this that, you know, might be in the same position as you, you know, being recruited, but not, you know, really being able to go visit or play, you know, kind of what would your advice be?
My advice would be, don't get discouraged if, you know, like schools were talking to you and then all of a sudden it kind of stops for a little bit, or if they're not recognizing you at all. I say, you know, still work your butt off. Don't skip reps. Do the little things that will get you where you want to go, because they'll come. Don't worry. You just got to trust the process. That's what my dad says. It is what it is. You got to trust the process.
Well, and I think right now too, you kind of have to advocate for yourself. You know, I mean, contact coaches and send your film and things like that. You know, I think that's also important.
100%.
So, yeah. Well, Jake, go ahead.
Don't annoy the coaches with, you know, everything, but yeah, reach out, email them, text your, get on a 7-on-7 team, you know, work out, get some trainers to talk to coaches, you know, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, because 7-on-7, I will say that you go, like I said, we went to Vegas. There's teams from everywhere, and you're playing against 4- and 5-star amazing athletes. Yeah. So that's definitely one way to get noticed, you know, by colleges, and, you know, 24/7 Sports is usually there. So, you know, shout out to Brandon Huffman, who works so hard and tirelessly, does amazing job for, you know, you high school kids. So, yeah, I think that's important as well. So just like you said, do the work.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it doesn't matter. Just do the work. So, Jake, it was so great to see you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing your season, hopefully this year. If not this year, then definitely next year, and to see where you go. So thank you again. Thanks for watching. This is Gina Moore with More Than Sports.